So good afternoon, everyone, on this sunny Tuesday afternoon, and it is only 73 degrees, so rejoice. As opposed to 80 last week or whatever it was. Anyway, this is our weekly business meeting, calling the meeting to order. It is 2:02 p.m., and I would ask, Matt, why don't you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
And go.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so attending this afternoon are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. And let's see, do we have a motion to accept the consent calendar?
I move that we approve the consent calendar as listed on our business meeting agenda for June 18th, 2019.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Chilios.
Aye. Moving on to the payables list, do we have a motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the payables list for the week of June 10th through the 14th in the amount of $1,063,034.63. There are no jury panel payments for last week.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Chilios.
Aye. Do we have any changes to the agenda? I hear none. Moving on to the first of our action items. Contract bid number 2019-07, National Native American Construction for the construction of our household hazardous waste facility at Solid Waste. Kathy, is this you?
Yes, it is, Commissioner, and this is just authorizing the execution and signing of the contract that was awarded with last week's meeting.
Questions?
No.
Motion?
I move that we approve the contract for bid number 2019-07 with the National Native American Construction.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Chilios.
Aye. Motion carried. Item number 2, contract bid number 2019-10, Earthworks Northwest Inc., Central Corridor Project, Solid Waste. Kathy again.
Yes, this too was awarded last week's meeting, and it's authorizing the execution and signing of the contract.
Motion.
I move that we approve the signing for the contract for bid number 2019-10, Earthworks Northwest.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Chilios.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Item number 3, award the bid for the vehicle storage building for our sheriff's organization, specifically 911.
Commissioners,
Colin.
Paul McRoy, for the record, I apologize for this not being in your packet. This is a request to award bid to TML Construction, which was the lowest bid for the bid documents which we opened for the 911 storage building construction. This is a breakdown of what we're requesting with the bottom on the TML construction bid. The top part is just historical, what's been spent already and what was been budgeted. This request is to award that, and we would be requesting additional funding of $168,026.69, all from the E911 restricted fund balance to fund that bid. That is with total construction costs of the bid about $10,000, which may change depending on for pulling permits from Coeur d'Alene City. Construction management, the rest of our construction management contract with Miller Stopper, and then a 5% contingency. So if the board chooses, we could fund it without the contingency. And this is not increasing any cost to the already budgeted amount in the general fund for this project.
Can you kind of explain on how if the fund, if it came in over what we expected, how that there's no general fund dollars needed?
Of course. So originally budgeting, we estimated that the sheriff's office assets would take up about 15% space, and so since we came in over, we looked at what's only really critical that we need to pull out of that other building, which is the
Gotcha.
Bearcat and the CMT vehicle. So calculating the square footage of that is about only 9.9%. So we still gave them a little bit more room for extra pieces and equipment at 10.7%, and that lowered the amount that the general fund needs to contribute, even though we came in over. The request also includes that contingency cost share in that fund, so if we don't use the contingency, those general funds can either go back to the general fund or be applied to the project to allow more percentage storage square footage in the building to general assets if need be.
Okay, so we'd have to decide and factor that into the motion.
Yes.
I got a
Dan, go
question.
right ahead.
You're saying the additional amount's 168, Colin? Does
Yes,
that include the parking
168.
lot?
That is not the parking lot, this is
Okay.
without alternate one. We were asking to not approve with alternate one. Alternate one was tearing and repaving of the complete 911 project, or 911 center parking lot. That would be all general fund dollars, and Sean agrees that we should not approach that at this time, and approach it at a later date.
Okay.
Okay, so just for a recap, because you've got quite a few numbers here, Colin.
Correct.
So the total project cost is $553, $320 and change.
Yes, that, to complete the project as of now, that's what it would cost.
All right, and you're requesting $168,000 plus from the E911 fund.
Correct, out of our dedicated fund.
All right, and is that part of that's part of the 553?
That is part of the 553,
Okay.
so that is above of what we have budgeted in the E911 account current, or left in the E911 account currently.
And does that, and that also includes the 5% contingency? which
That
is
also
about-
includes the 5% contingency, so that's all inclusive with the 5% contingency.
All right, got it.
So,
Any other questions?
I just suppose
Go
if the contingency isn't used, can you just bring it back and at that time we can determine where those dollars should go? It's just kind of hard right now to.
that would be
Yeah,
the
and
purview
that's a
of the
decision
board,
we can make later.
if the
Okay.
contingency is not spent, we can either choose to, at the time, to return to the
To
fund
the
or
fund
apply
or apply to the
Okay.
general
to,
fund?
to the actual project.
Yeah.
We can definitely bring that back at that time.
Sean, did you have something?
Yeah, Sean Riley, for the record, I would definitely fund the contingency. Something usually does go wrong at some point, and that's a low number. For me, I'd rather see
It's
it
5%,
at
yeah.
10, I believe in 10%. So at 5%, I would definitely
Cutting it close.
suggest that you fund that, and then if it comes back, it comes
Yeah.
back, that'd be great.
Okay.
May I offer a suggestion?
Yes, sir.
Since this is the award bid, the board could award the bid, and then when a contract is brought back, it could then approve the various funding sources and the things that were discussed today as
Okay.
far as numbers go.
But
Maybe
it-
pursuant to some document that Colin submits later.
But in approving the bid today, or awarding the bid today, excuse me, we would award it for the full amount. We would specify the amount, because that's not likely to change.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's the 553 change. Okay, any other questions?
I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got in today's board packet 431 pages that we're supposed to at least be conversant with, and I'm not pretending that I read every single page. But anybody who brings anything here on the fly, I've seen this as a PowerPoint presentation, but verbally committing to this kind of money, I'm not prepared to do that. Was there a reason this thing wasn't prepared or given to us earlier?
Other than we were working out the numbers from the point of bid
I mean,
completion.
these are the same numbers that we saw in the PowerPoint presentation.
Commissioners, if I
Kevin, yeah, go right
if I
ahead.
can jump in, Kevin Smart from the
Yeah.
record, sir. We were working on these just this morning to modify the 15% that we had originally buffered, to take that to the 10%. So that way we didn't have to dip into general fund dollars to push the project through, where it's all under the enhanced to cover the remaining costs. So that way it wouldn't hit the general fund with that. So Colin gave that to me at about noon. This is what we looked through. It might have been a little earlier. My fault for not pushing that just to email to you directly. I'll make sure I do that in the future, but that's why we we brought the packet today to, hey, say, this is what we are looking at, and trying to ensure that you have all the knowledge that you need.
Yeah, I think it might be
Should be.
helpful to go through these numbers and take it back to the beginning. It shouldn't take very much time, and correct me if any part of this, Sean, or Colin, that I'm wrong, but the original, we were budgeted 410,880, correct? That's where we started.
Correct.
Go
And
ahead.
the breakout between that was 349, you know, out of the enhanced dollars, and the rest would have to have come out of general fund.
Yeah,
And then we set it out to bid, and when we went out to bid, TML Construction came back with a low bid, is that right?
Lowest
At
bid.
514,
250, correct.
and so, are you with me so far?
keep going.
Yep.
And so moving ahead on the package sheet, and Colin, you can help me move with this, because I'll probably screw it up somewhere. So we're at, you know, over to the sheet where it says bid cost, and it's got the base bid, it's 514,250. Now we're adding permits and contingency to that. Okay, that's what was additionally added that wasn't there in the beginning, right, Colin?
That was factored in the original
That was, okay.
410, which we do believe at the very beginning that was an incorrect number. We believe
Okay.
it was a error at some point in the budgeting process. We asked for 410 from the general fund, and it should have been 61, or from the enhanced fund, and 61 from the general fund, making a total of 48,
Right.
480,000, because that was closer to initial cost estimate.
So in transparency, I think being completely transparent, in the beginning, it should have been 468 instead of 410, right? Is that right or wrong?
About 470
Okay.
is what it should have
Now-
initially been.
So now we're up to where we're at now, at 550, 620, and that includes the contingency and the permits. And so, the reason I asked about the difference in the money, there was an alternate here, and the alternate included about another 50-some thousand dollars to put, to repave the parking lot, but that's not included in this, correct?
That was not included in this.
So Bill, so the bottom line is we budgeted 410, which should have been 468, but then it went up based on the basis of the bid. The cheapest bid we got was 515 roughly, 514 and change.
514.
And so what's at issue here is where that extra money is gonna come from.
I don't have any problem with your methodology,
Okay,
certainly with your integrity. I believe what you're telling me, I believe what you're telling me. It just goes for everybody. I'd like to see this stuff in our board
Yes,
packet
sir.
before, that's all. That's all. And that's all. And I really want, I mean, I understand the numbers are right now. And like I say, there's no question in terms of anybody who comes before us in terms of your integrity.
Fair enough.
fair enough.
Are we good?
Good.
Ready for motion?
Sure, I move
Thanks, Colin.
that we approve and award the bid for the vehicle storage building to TML Construction in, do you want the total amount?
You can add that too.
Okay, and total project cost being $550,620.36,
The 553,000.
Excluding
Oh.
alternate one.
excluding alternate one, and then adding the 2,700 for construction management?
No, that is.
That is in the
That's
553.
included, that 550.
Okay.
Just the total amount is good.
Okay, I did, well,
No, you're 553 to
Yeah,
270.
so the
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
amount is 553,320.36. Okay, we're good.
Yes.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
aye.
Chairman Payas.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item number 4, transfer of reimbursement funds for damaged personal watercraft, KCSO.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Matt Street for the record. Before you is a request to transfer insurance reimbursement funds from the insurance fund back into the vessel account, which was the originating purchasing source for the personal watercraft.
That's the roughly 7,000, Matt?
Yes.
6998.33, okay. Are we good?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
in
I'm
the
sorry, go ahead.
past, is this how it's been handled when you guys have when something like this happens? Do you guys normally request it back, or?
If we're made aware of it, I
Okay.
think that typically our understanding is it automatically happens behind the scenes, and in this particular time, I just inquired, randomly, I guess, about whatever happened with it, and then realized that it didn't go back into the vessel account, which is a restricted fund, so, which is the reason for that. Same thing if we wreck patrol cars, I never really look back to see where that insurance money went to, and-
Yes.
So Dina, you're okay? Go ahead.
So just for the record, it usually just stays in Fund 13, which is the insurance fund.
Okay.
So any insurance proceeds just automatically drop into that insurance fund. But we can easily transfer
We
that
can
back to
easily
the
make a
department with
transfer.
your authority.
Yep, I'm good.
I'm good with that too. Okay, motion.
I move that we approve the transfer of reimbursement funds for the damaged personal watercraft back to the KCSO restricted fund in the amount of $6,998.33.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 5, First Amendment to the MOU for the no-wake buoys, Discovery Marina, Parks and Waterways, Nick Snyder.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. Essentially, this is a housekeeping item, Commissioners. We've had regulatory buoys deployed in front of Discovery Marina by way of MOU since 2002. We memorialized it in 2014, and this is a renewal of that agreement. This is at no cost to Kootenai County. If there's any buoy replacement or other work that needs done, we bill Discovery Marina directly. So.
Okay. Questions, concerns? Motion.
I move that we approve the First Amendment to the MOU for the no-wake buoys at Discovery Marina with Parks and Waterways. And did you need to know, is that sufficient?
And Discovery Quarterly Investors, Discovery Marina.
Discovery Marina.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye. Item number 6, remediation agreement with the Cataldo Property Coeur d'Alene Trust, Parks and Waterways. Nick again.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick Snyder for the record. This is the agreement that we've discussed a few times referencing remediation work in Cataldo on the county's flood mitigation properties. Again, at no cost to Kootenai County. So there's some Superfund dollars available that will come in and remediate those properties and replace the contaminated topsoil. We're going to do gravel on about 90% of it. That way we have some control of the weeds and reduce fire hazards. And Jamila has provided you a legal opinion, and I recommend you sign.
Motion.
I move that we approve the remediation agreement for the Cataldo property with Coeur d'Alene Trust.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried.
Now, this is the, excuse me, real
Yeah,
quick.
go right ahead.
This is the one that the funding runs out
Eventually.
for fairly soon. I mean, if people,
Yeah, there is an end to that funding, Commissioners, so it's advisable to take advantage of that.
good. Thank you.
Okay. All right then, item number 7, approve the policy manual for adult misdemeanor probation. Keith.
Good afternoon, Keith Hutchison for the record. This is a total rewrite on the whole policy manual. When I first started here, asked for the policy manual to read it, and they handed me 3 of them. So kind of basically codified everything, brought everything together, separated certain things out. After I rewrote all that with the help of our assistant Lori, putting it together, I sent it to legal. Mr. Ferguson looked at it. I came back with some corrections, went back, made my corrections, brought them back to Mr. Ferguson. Then I took it to HR and had HR go through it. So it matches county policy now, which it
Oh,
never
good, I was
did.
going to ask you that. Okay.
So all, the way the book is set up is if it refers to a county policy, in the back, the county policy will be available. So they just have one book to look at. So I'm looking for your approval for the total rewrite.
Okay. Legal's fine, I'm fine.
Yep.
Motion.
I move that we approve the policy manual for adult misdemeanor probation.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 8, Resolution 2019-56, Firearms Trade, Adult Misdemeanor Probation. Keith again.
Again, when I came over again, I looked in our gun safe, and we have a lot of guns sitting in there, just sitting there, and did some history on them. They were originally purchased. What happened was some individuals have a very difficult time because of the size of the guns and stuff, so we ended up transferring into a more of a 9mm. So I want to become more working with the local agencies and just looking at having them sit there for no reason, basically surplusing these out and bringing in 9mm. This is going to be done at no cost to the county. This is basically a house cleaning thing that we're doing. We're getting down to what do you call it, a bullet that is a lot cheaper to work with and train with, and also we work a lot with the Sheriff's Department on our certifications, and so just looking for the surplus of these 9 weapons to be able to go back out and use the rest of the money to purchase the newer guns.
Bill?
I talked to Keith about this, and I went, wait a minute, are you trading guns again? When did you buy these? And he goes, I didn't buy them. And there certainly is a difference between a 45 and a 9. And my understanding, and I'd like Dan or any other of the sworn people in here to weigh in, there was a real movement a few years ago to go to 45s and 40s and bigger calibers because of their knockdown power. And there seems to be just as much a swing to go back to 9s now because of their controllability. And these are Generation 5 Glocks,
Yes,
which are the new and improved. Ask any marketing guy from Glock. They have a flared magazine well and a different finish and all kinds of...
They're ambidextrous, so
yes,
it's left and right.
Yeah, either hand. So after talking to Keith, I'm in favor of this completely.
You're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've done a good job, and hopefully you'll have these for many years to come.
Yes, sir. I just ran through my liaison, Commissioner
Pardon?
Duncan. I ran through my liaison with Commissioner Duncan too.
Good, good.
So she was on board with it and how to bring it forward, so it was good.
So you're good?
I'm good.
Okay, motion.
All right, I move that we approve Resolution 2019-56, which is the firearm trades for adult misdemeanor probation.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye. Item number 9, electrical proposal for Fuse Electric LLC. And that, is this Kim or Sean? Who's doing
Sean.
this? So Sean, you're doing this, okay, for the BOCC. Go ahead, Sean.
Sean Riley for the record. This is to award the bid. We did get 3 bids for the electrical work that needs to be done for the above-ground storage tank project out of the jail. This was the low bid, Fuse Electric, in the amount of $49,880. So we haven't established a funding source for this yet. So if the board wishes, we could approve the bid, award the bid today, and then maybe at debrief take up the funding so that when I bring back the contract, we would already have that established. Because there's some money in the jail expansion, there's capital, and then there's also contingency, and being that this was unforeseen, we could use the contingency money, which then would save that capital money for some other things that could pop up.
And you're right, we can take that up at a business meeting.
We take it up, or just put it on a brief next Monday and just figure it out, and then when I come back with the contract from this award bid, we could make it, we could formalize it at the
At
business
that
point.
point, yeah.
It's up to you.
We okay?
Yeah, I'm fine with
Okay, so at this point, we'll just indicate the sum in the motion. Okay, motion?
it. All right, I move that we accept the bid proposal from Fuse Electric LLC in the amount of $49,880.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Philios.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 10, tax deed bid for AIN 133670 from a Hooper, Mr. or Ms. Hooper.
bid for AIN 133670 in the amount of $551. And Community Development and Treasurer's Office both have looked at the project and they are fine with it.
Okay. Bill, questions?
No, no.
Okay, so then I guess what we'll be looking for a motion to accept and approve the bid.
Yes. So I move that we accept the bid in the amount of $551 for AIN 133670 with the amount to be applied to taxes and cost fees with late charges and interest to be canceled.
Second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Phillips.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 11, grant application for the, to the FTA 2019-003-TPM for buses and bus facilities program for the paving of the Riverstone Transit Center, along with the Department of Transportation and our Resource Management Office. Kim?
Yes, Kim Riley for the record. Last week, we requested to utilize $200,000 in current FTA funding to start the paving for Phase 2. So this is requesting authorization to apply for $400,000 of FY 2019 funding, which would allow us to complete the paving. So complete Phase 2. $100,000 in-kind match.
Okay. Questions? Motion?
I move that we approve the grant application FTA 2019-003 TPM.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Phillips.
Aye, motion carried. Item number 12, authorization to utilize 5339 KMPO funds for the bus shelters. Resource Management Office again, Kim.
Yes, this again is funding that currently exists. Nobody has utilized them, so we're requesting to use it for 2 high-profile bus shelters. We would like to eventually do bus shelters at many of the different bus stops. So these would be kind of, samples of what we would be looking to do and make them uniform. We do have support from Panhandle Health and Post Falls Highway District. So this is requesting to apply for $72,100 in FTA funds.
Okay.
So this would cost the county $18,000
This
approximately.
the county's zero. So for the Post Falls at Celtice and Hutter,
Yeah.
Post Falls Highway District will do the cash match
Okay.
fully.
Okay.
Panhandle Health will do $2,500 cash, and then we'll use in-kind for the balance on that.
Okay. Good explanation.
Can I say, you said
Doreen, I have
FTA,
that.
but it's 5339, so isn't that ITD?
It's passed through to ITD.
Okay.
It's FTA fund,
Okay.
it's federal fund.
All right, okay, just wanted to clarify.
Are we good? Motion?
So I move that we authorize the utilization of 5339 KMPO funds for 2 bus shelters.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan.
Aye.
Chairman Phillips.
Aye, and this motion is carried. Item G on our agenda, public comment. I hear none, 2:30 PM. Meeting adjourned, thank you very much.
That was a fast 431 pages.